So I'm working on this cute little animation of Bucketgirl waiting for a tram. I want to add a bunch of rain to give it more atmosphere, just make the whole thing a lot more vibey. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to animate rain, but I think I know where to find some reference. So after analyzing those Ghibli scenes, I think there are like 4 or 5 different elements that make up rain, and I'm gonna add each of those to this Bucketgirl. First up, I'm gonna do the splashes, which are built with 3 different elements. So I'm just gonna like lightly drag this across the surface. And I'm just adding a little bit of extra density just at the base of it, because that's where the most amount of water will be, and then the splashes get more diffuse as they go up. So that's the base layer. Then I'm going to change to like a soft round opacity brush. I'm just going to add a bit more like spray that's coming off the top. And I'm not being super precise with this, it's just random. It's just random really. And then the final detail that I'm going to add is with just any old like marker brush, like a more dense brush. I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to add bigger droplets like this. And those are just the bigger drops of rain that are bouncing up off the roof. And then on each frame, I'm just going to randomly put more. The final little detail that I want to add to this is I'm going to lock the transparency, and then I'm going to pick up this orange color and go back to my soft opacity brush, and I'm just going to paint over this with that orange, focusing on that corner area, just so that it looks like it's catching that light, and that just grounds it in the scene. Cool. So that's one frame of that, and then the other place that needs to happen is on the ground. And so what I'm going to do here is just have a much bigger brush, and I'm just going to lightly paint over. And that's all of that rain, all of that splash happening across the surface of the ground. And then same thing, I'm going to take the soft round opacity brush and again just kind of paint in a bit more of a mist, a bit more of a sort of spray, the very, very fine particles of water that are bouncing up. And then again, I'm going to take another just kind of thicker marker brush and I'm going to paint in randomly. And then again, final thing, I'm going to lock the transparency. I'm going to take that orange color for the light. I'm going to take the soft round opacity brush, make it bigger, and again just kind of paint in patches of light that's being caught by that lamp. And so now that feels like rain grounded in the scene, and I'm just going to repeat that for 5 frames. So the next element of rain to build up this effect is going to be the drips that come down from the roof, from the top of the surface. And so that is multiple just spots of water, basically. They're just catching the light. So we'll start with like a couple, and then we're just going to add a frame. Let's turn onion skin on. And then following that path down, so this sort of path down, we're going to add more. And they kind of spread out as they fall. And they can be a random number as well. It doesn't need to be a consistent, like if you start with 3 drops, 3 more have to fall down. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. So we're going to add a frame, and again, just following that path down, we're going to do some more. And so when you play that, you can see how that looks as well, which is super cool. The third little detail to add are going to be the splashes that are bigger drops of rain hitting the ground. So those are made up of 3 frames that look like this. There's a circle, which is the initial impact, then add a frame, a wider circle, because that's that splash spreading out, and then it has a little crown of water that looks like that. And then a final frame, which is that crown dispersing, which is really just little spots like this. And so if you play that back, when you have like 100 of those across the ground, it's really going to feel like rain. And then the final one, which is the obvious one, it is the rain itself. And to be honest, I just found a brush that does rain. So I'm just going to paint that across. The little secret sauce that I'm going to do to this as well is, again, lock the transparency, go to that soft round opacity brush, grab my orange color from the lights, and I'm gonna again kind of paint in some of that light on the rain so that it feels again grounded in the scene, like the lights in the scene are affecting the rain. And when you put all of that together, it looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is put it on the computer, and I'm going to add my little secret sauce, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I actually love the way that looks, and I think we could quit there and call it good, but I would quite like to do a tram going right by and not even stopping, just because, I don't know, life is unfair. And I think it would be quite easy to do actually, because I won't have to animate it frame by frame. I think we can just draw an image of a tram and then animate it in After Effects. And maybe just do a little frame by frame of like some splash along the tracks or something like that. But that'll only be like a couple of frames. I'm gonna do that and then call it done. So I'm just gonna do like a quick sketch of a, I don't know, sort of tram shape. Just to kind of get the perspective and like the right sort of height. It's roughly like this, isn't it? So you just get like, there's a window here, and I'm gonna put like a light on the front of it like that, and then the water. And the water is the bit that I'm gonna do frame by frame, but it'll only be a couple of frames. So it'll be like that, just like plowing through the rain. And then we paste. So there's our tram. The only thing I need to animate frame by frame is the spray coming off the bottom of the tram as it's going through the water. And I think I can do that pretty simply. So I'm just going to roughly do a shape like that, basically. And then do the same thing coming out the other way. So that's the big like spray from the front, and then it's going to be the same thing down the side. So I'm just going to continue that. And I don't love it, so I'm going to put more of a wave in it. It's a little bit too flat. So it's going to be more like... And then to just add a little bit more sauce to it, I'm going to add some drops, flecks, spots of water coming off the top of it. So again, just like random spots like this of different sizes. Kind of sneaky, but I'm just going to close this shape. I'm going to fill it. So I just brought in a frame of the animation just to cross-reference to make sure that it's going to blend okay. And I'm going to grab some of that color. If I do that, oh, it looks so dark. Okay, let's just grab the actual color then. I think that's fine. I have no idea, but I'm going to assume it's fine. And just like that, we have animating water. Okay, so there's the tram animating just on a constant loop. So now we take it from here and we drop it into the main animation. And really simply, we just animate the position. So we put a start position, which is off frame, and we pick an endpoint, and then we just animate it going across the screen like this, and good enough. I mean, definitely good enough. Now, there's a bunch of little details that can help just sell the effect a little bit more. So I'm going to work on those and just blitz through it, and then I will show you the final result. Okay, I kind of love it. Especially actually Bucketgirl just being frozen after the tram has passed. That kind of just dead-eyed expression of like, did that really just happen? I think that's pretty funny. I think that's it. I think I'm gonna call it quits there. It's definitely good enough. So that's it. That's how I animate rain. That's how you should animate rain. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but you know, it works. Cool. Okay.